but I'm here. Totally lost track of time. Okay, actually, sit my ass down somewhere for 2 seconds. It is Tuesday. Another beautiful day out at Freedom Forest. Trying to get the farm ready for summer. So there's a lot of things that are a lot easier to do in the winter than in the summer. And those are the things I'm trying to get done. I have just today and a little bit of tomorrow that's going to be cooler weather, which for me is more comfortable, like working weather, especially in my case. Hold on. This truck, I don't know if you can hear all this beeping behind me. They're doing some work on the road out here, and machines have been going all day. This is not my quiet farm forest experience that I usually have, but it's been a beautiful day anyway, and super productive. Anyway, I was saying, I have just today and a little bit of tomorrow of cool weather, which is better working weather for me, because I'm doing a lot of like hardcore manual labor. I was going to say manual labor, but all of this is manual labor, but like hardcore manual labor, you know, like digging hole, earthworks stuff, infrastructure, putting in cattle panels, digging holes, digging in this Georgia clay that I love so much, but it's also heavy. Anyway, so it's a lot more comfortable to do this type of work when the sun is not as intense and the temperature is not as high. I prefer to work when it's like 40 to 50 degrees out. Beautiful earthworks temperature for me. So anyway, I have today and tomorrow. Today's almost over, but I got a bunch done. So tomorrow looks very, very, I'm optimistic that I'm going to get everything done that I wanted to get done on this trip. I mean, technically, I've already gotten everything done that I wanted to get done on this trip, except for one thing, but I'm about to finish that now. The other stuff, I guess, doesn't even really count, because it's like, should I keep adding to the list when I take stuff off? So the list just keeps growing. But that's because I have more time, you know, and I want to use it. So tomorrow's Wednesday. It's like half day of cool. And then it's going to be, the temperatures are going to be going back up, and it's going to be warm for at least the next week. But I have rain forecasted for Thursday and Friday. So one of the things I want to get done before I leave this week and before the rains come, because again, we're just trying to work with weather here, y'all. Trying to use the weather to my advantage, which is difficult to do because it's not predictable in many ways. So it's a little bit challenging, but I'm trying to work with it. Anyway, one of the things I want to get done is to seed my new rows that I put out. Oh, I'll show you guys. So where you can actually like get some perspective here. Yesterday when I went live, I had finished 2 new grow rows, and I had put in 4 stone fruit trees, 2 apple and 2 pear, and then I had 1 row left, which I finished today. So I got this row done. This is the last row I wanted to have done. So now for the summer season, which is my first season growing here on the farm, I have 3 grow rows here, and then I have 3 grow rows over there, which I finished last month. There's videos on that. And so I've been trying to just finish this section before winter's over, and I've basically done that. So I'm very happy. I say basically because if you look over here, there's still this section that I would love to get done before winter comes. But I don't know. I don't know. So anyway, this is like a stretch goal if I could get this cleared. And as I mentioned before, this area right here is basically what all of this looked like. And so it's been a lot of work to get it cleared and get this space productive. So this is the row I finished today. This is my last row to have 6 rows for summer. And I put in 2 apple trees on this row. And then these are the strawberries that I transplanted from the suburban homestead last week. Yeah, last week. I did that on live, I think. So I'm going to transplant these into this row and just sprinkle them around and let strawberries grow over here. I don't have any other strawberries on this side. All of my strawberries are on that side. And so here is going to be my cut flowers. This is row 4. Row 4 is going to be cut flowers. And then this row, these 2 rows, 5 and 6, are going to be a mix of annuals. Cucumbers, edible flowers, you know, stuff like that are going to be in rows 5 and 6. And again, my stretch goal, I would love to clear this so that I could put just a squash and let them just run over there and, you know, do what they want to do. I'd love to get that cleared. I'd also like to get that cleared because in the winter, this clearing task is a lot easier because, well, like I mentioned, obviously weather and temperature and all that good stuff. But also, all around my property, I have these brambles growing all in the understory of everything. And so where there aren't any trees, they're just really coming up. And this is a very, very, very painful process to do when they are growing vigorously. Cutting them doesn't do nothing. They just keep growing back. So I actually have to dig them up from the roots because they spread by rhizomes. So I would love to get this cleared. You can't see probably in the camera, but it's basically all brambles, some goldenrod, and a couple of other wild plants, but a lot of it's the brambles. I don't even mind a lot of the other stuff, but those brambles tear my legs up. So I would love to get this cleared before winter's over, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna stress myself about that. I got this part done. So before I leave this week, I'm gonna get this seeded out because I'm gonna put in all of my flowers in this row. I'm doing 4 different varieties of cut flowers here. And then I've got some other stuff I'm probably going to put into these rows just to like get some roots in the ground. I've got like turnips and, you know, radishes and stuff like that don't mind the cool or warm weather, and they're not as slow to produce. So I'll probably sprinkle those in there. And then I'm about to do pull together some tools because I decided I was going to cut this lower branch off of this apple tree, but I decided I'm going to try to just air layer it and see, because either way I'm going to cut this off, and so I might as well try to get clone a tree off of it. So I'm going to air layer this one, and then this one I just put in, I noticed also has this lower branch that I might try to air layer onto. It's also an apple tree. I'm pretty sure these are Red Delicious apple trees. I don't need these. I want to prune it off, but like I said, I'm going to try to air layer it first, I think. Anywho, I'm going to try to get that done. If I have enough supplies, I'll do 2 air layers. Otherwise, I'm just going to do 1 today. And then that's probably all that's going to get done. I'm going to use these 2 last cattle panels that I have laying over here, and I'm going to do horizontal trellises just like I have over here. I'm going to do on this side, just 1 row. These are for my tomato. My tomato trellising is going to go in here. So these are set up. And then over here, I'm doing cucumbers on this other side. Oh, wait. Josephine 2042, wouldn't you cut it off later? I wouldn't. If you're talking about that little shoot that's coming out of my apple tree, I prefer to prune my trees when they're still dormant. So I would chop it now. It's still dormant. It was starting to come up, but none of the buds have actually all the way broken. So my tree's still dormant, which is why I wanted to get it in the ground also before spring came. I prefer to transplant trees when they're dormant, when they're sleeping. And so this tree's still asleep. It's still dormant. So I would chop it now. I wouldn't wait to chop it personally. Everyone else got a pruning already. I already pruned all the peaches and the blueberries. The figs got a huge pruning when I moved them here, just so it would be easier to transport. So those are all done. This is citrus and figs mostly. There's also like a miscellaneous section. I talked about it on a different live before. But that's it. That's what's happening today. Oh, Joseph Leon, I'm sorry. I'm just adding letters to your name. I live in Arizona. Oh, in the desert. Oh, wow. God bless you. I always wonder how y'all do it out there. I don't know if I would make it. I don't think I'm built for that. Much respect. Much respect to you. Okay. Oh, wait. I wanted to show you guys while I was here because I had I think it was like 1 a.m. thought. You know, that's when you get your best ideas. Okay, look. So, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to try this. I don't know how well you can see it in the camera, but the land kind of has a little bit of a slope like this. So this area is a little bit higher than this area. And so I'm thinking about water management, right? Obviously, I'm going to catch as much water as I can here. Project for another time. But so the water is going to naturally just kind of run a little further down here. And then on this side, it's actually a little bit higher. And I noticed that some water kind of sits right here. This is another reason why I'm putting my cucumbers in row 5 in the middle, because they need more water. I didn't mention on this live, but I'm a dry farmer, so I don't have any irrigation or any of that good stuff. So I rely on Mother Nature. So I'm going to put my cucumbers in the middle row where I've noticed that the water kind of settles here. And then also with water management and land management, I noticed there's, again, I'm not sure how well you can see it in the camera, but there's like a dip right here where it looks like a tree was dug out, a larger tree was dug out. So it's kind of sunken in, it's kind of pit-ish. And I always just avoid this area so I don't break my neck. But I decided that, and you see how the sun is kind of like dappled right here? I think this is going to be like the perfect banana pit. So I'm going to do a banana circle here. I've got this, wouldn't you know it, it's actually a banana. I know what it looks like. But believe me, they always come back. So they look like that every winter. They haven't let me down yet. They always look like that when winter comes, and then they grow back. So I'm assuming that this is not dead. It's just plain dead. So I'm going to do a banana circle right here. And so I'm going to let the water that runs down here. And then I'm pretty sure you can't see in the camera, but this side runs like this. And so I'm going to have the water run into the banana circle here, because bananas need a lot more water than I probably have for them. So I'm going to let the water kind of pool here, and then I'm going to compost in the middle, and I'm going to have 3 bananas in a semicircle style, and I'm going to leave that side open, and then the bananas are going to be right here. I'm going to do 3 bananas on this outer edge here. So I'm going to dig this up a little bit more just to make it more of like a pronounced pit. And also I need this clay to kind of level out some other areas where there's like dips and holes kind of throughout where trees were dug up and they didn't fill it in properly. So there's a lot of like twisted ankles waiting to happen. So I'm going to use the clay that's in here. I'm going to dig it out some. And I'm going to use that in other places to fill in some spots. And then this is going to be the banana circle. So when you come up the driveway, wait, I'm backing up so you guys can see better. When you come up the driveway, so I'm standing next to my car right now. When you come up into the driveway, this is the aisle that leads you further back into the property. As a reminder, if you're new here, I bought a 5-acre pine forest last year in August, and I'm converting it into a farm. So what I'm using for my current farm site is the space that was cleared for a home site. And so it's a little bit less than a 1/4 acre that I'm growing on for this first season. And I have plans in the future to clear more acreage towards the back and sides so that I can expand my farm further back. But for this year, or this season, I was just trying to get into production. So I'm using the land that I already have cleared. which, like I said, is a little bit less than a quarter acre. I'm in Georgia, zone 8B, southeast region. So when you come in, this little path takes you back to my shipping container. And then where the shipping container is placed, essentially in the future, is going to be more like the middle of the farm, because a lot of these trees are going to be cleared. I probably am going to clear about another acre. Yeah, these are southern pines. Yep, it's a 5-acre pine forest. I noticed that I also have some eastern red cedar trees. That's what this is right here. The birds go crazy on it because it makes these little berries off of it. And they are like, in the mornings, they're always on this tree. Okay, so let me go back. So this is the pathway. I'm leaving it a little bit wider so that I can still get equipment back there or drive my car back there if I need to or whatever, because like I said, I'm doing some clearing back here. So I want to leave space to be able to get back there if I need to. So this is going to be left a little bit more open. I have some flowers that are planted on either side, which haven't come up yet, but it'll be closed in just a little bit. But also, if I need to drive something bigger back there and sacrifice those flowers, I'm gonna drive right over them things. So, so on this side, you'll see I have my hives over here. Right now, I have 2 beehives. This is south facing over here. So I always like to place my hives facing south because allegedly it's better for the bees. So the apiary is right here, right now. Obviously, we'll need to expand in the future, but right now, this is where they're living. This is where I'm going to be growing. Like I said, there's 3 rows over here. Tomatoes. We'll have to use, this is where y'all need to use your imagination because right now it looks like nothing, but in a few months, it's going to be lush and green and beautiful. Because I'm going to have tomatoes and all the things over here. Right now, I just have garlic, bulb garlic, garlic chives, strawberries, mullein, and fava beans is the only thing that's growing over here right now, but in the future, coming soon. And then this is my blueberry row. So I have 16 potted blueberries. I think I have 5 or 6 varieties, I can never remember, of blueberries. They're gonna live in these pots along this edge here. They do fruit every year. They do fruit in these pots because blueberries like to grow wider, the roots, not deep. And so I grow them in these 24-gallon pots, and they just live in those. So this is where the blueberry row is going to be. There's a row of canna lilies here. Again, they're underground. They haven't come up yet, but when it warms up, they will. This is going to be where the banana patch is, the banana circle. And then this is going to be a row of cut flowers, and then 2 rows of annuals and flowers and all that good stuff. And you can't see the sticks in the ground, but there's also 6 fruit trees over here, 4 apple and 2 pear. And that's basically going to be the farm this year. Oh, wait, I got to show you. I totally forgot. My fruit trees back here. I have citrus. Citrus is more of an understory plant, so I have them tucked into the corner over here. I have to do some more like ground clearing and stuff over here in the next, I don't know what, to make space for these. But this is my citrus. I have limes, limequats, satsuma, a bunch of different stuff over here. They're gonna go like tucked a little bit into the pine forest so they can get some shade but still a little sun, and they're gonna live in pots. This is my fig orchard. I'm gonna have to move around once I make some time to like bring this to a little bit more order, but the figs are also gonna live in pots. They also will fruit in pots, and so I'm just gonna keep them here because again, the plan is to extend the farm. So I'm not gonna try to put all this, first of all, I don't have anywhere cleared to put all of this, but also I don't wanna squeeze everything into the ground now and then expand the farm and then have to dig everything up and move it. Like that's just, they're going to be perfectly fine in these pots for one season. They've got lots of room to grow. This is elderberry, cherries, lots of stuff, raspberries, mulberries, a variety of things. And this is my questionably dead section of things that I'm not sure if it's dead yet, so I'm not going to give up on it. And then further back here is where my shipping container is. That's where all of my storage is. And like I said, I'm on 5 acres, so my land goes further back, and I, in the future, intend to clear probably an acre right here, like all around this. And so this shipping container will then essentially be kind of like in the center of the farm, instead of right now it's like way at the back, and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go all the way to the back and get a shovel. But one day in the future, it's gonna be like in the middle. It feels kind of far when you're having to do all this walking, but totally worth it. I didn't want to have to move the shipping container more than once, so that's why I put it back here as far as I can go. I'm gonna show you, it goes a little further back, but because I also forgot, back here I have my mushroom logs, which this has to be done before before winter is over also. You see why it's a little stressful before. Oh shoot, I haven't been back here in a little bit. Ooh, the shiitake's got some action on them. Doesn't look like shiitake, but it's doing something. Oh wow, look at that. So cool. Well, anyway, these are my neglected mushroom logs that have been inoculated with shiitake spawn, and I have to properly stack these in the shaded area. Because it's almost March, that shaded area is going to be right here for this season, because I don't have time to clear a space. My dream was for the mushroom forest to be, the mushroom farm to be like in the forest somewhere, but I actually have to like clear a path to get into that space in order to move the mushrooms there. And I don't have time. So I'm just going to properly stack them here for this season. And then next winter, I'm going to make a plan to, execute the vision for the mushroom farm. But this is where it's going to be right now, because mushrooms need shade. And this container will provide it enough shade to stay. This is why I had the container placed as far over on this as possible, because like I said, that's south. So I knew if I couldn't get any shade anywhere else, if I put the shipping container over as far as I could, that I'd at least have this little bit of shade. And I do. So I have a small shade canopy. Logs are going to have to get restacked because they're not stacked properly. I just tossed them there with the move. So that's a project that has to get done in the next few weeks. But this is not the back, but back-ish. Again, it goes back more, but this is all that I have cleared. And so my plan for this season is I'm growing a bunch of sweet potato slips, and I'm gonna put sweet potatoes all back here. Again, obviously, I have to do some clearing work back here in the next few weeks in order to execute this, but I have a lot of deer back here, and the deer like sweet potatoes, and so I'm gonna do like a sweet potato patch back here so I can feed them back here, so then they won't be as inclined to come up to the front to eat the garden. That's what I'm hoping. It worked at my last farm. I planted sweet potatoes all along the outside perimeter, and the deer ate outside of the farm. They never came inside. I didn't have a fence or anything, and I also had woods behind me at my other farm as well. So I'm hoping it works here. I tried it out here, actually. I volunteered at the food pantry, and they had a bunch of sweet potatoes that were gross for people's consumption. So they gave me a whole box of them, and I threw them all back here. They're basically all gone except for that one and a couple others. I threw it all back here, and the deer ate it. I came back like maybe 3 weeks later, and they were all gone. All the sweet potatoes were gone except for a couple of scraps. So I know that they like sweet potatoes. So I'm going to grow sweet potatoes back here for them. So that's the plan for this little space back here. But yeah, I didn't want to look at that right now. Anyway, so quite a few projects to get done before winter is officially over. Which who knows when that's actually going to be. Oh, I guess if you're new here, since we're back here, I'll show you inside shipping container. I need to do some organizing, but this is what it is right now, y'all. Like, welcome. Welcome to my life. If you're new here, I just moved my farm a few months